Welcome to Proust My Startup, the podcast that offers you a glimpse at the personalities of the people that make the local startup ecosystem in Malaysia. I'm Vanessa Muledus, aka Brand Shifu with an H on Instagram, the founder of North Branding Consulting Boutique Agency. I'm a brand strategist, 24/7 immersed by the sides of entrepreneurs, startups, and SME founders. As a brand consultant, a mentor, but also an entrepreneur program facilitator, an investment jury, and a business angel. In Proust My Startup, I want to really discover who are the people that make our local startup ecosystem. Because I'm a brand strategist, I want to understand how their personal brand might influence or shape the corporate brand of their organization. Today's episode is recorded from CloudMile's Center of Excellence in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Startups thrive on innovation, and CloudMile is here to fuel that journey. As a leading AI and cloud technology company in Asia, they help businesses drive digital transformation and growth, leveraging machine learning, big data, and cloud solutions. With a team made up of certified technical experts and a strong network of technology partners, including being one of just 40 Google Cloud Managed Services providers globally, CloudMile has supported more than 1,200 companies through consulting, technical, and managed services. I've seen it firsthand with my own mentees, tech startup founders. The Center of Excellence in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, now offers startups a collaborative space to explore generative AI, data management, security, and more, and advance their digital competitiveness with cloud and AI adoption. So if, like them, you want to experience it yourself, visit today my.cloud. Hello, Rejina. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Vanessa. How are you?
Very good, thank you. You're my first guest today, and
excellent.
what a guest. So for the benefit of the audience, I need to introduce you a bit. So Rejina Rahim, she's the founder of an impressive, actually, startup that is called Wahine Capital, right? So I met Rejina a few years back, like 3 good years, I think, back at Women in Tech Summit, I think, where I was MCing a part and you were a guest or speaker, maybe. I can't remember. Speaker, right?
I think that was.
And so Rejina, she was studying actually Wahine. It was really the beginning.
Yeah.
And the interest of it is that Rejina is developing a solution to enable women to become financially independent. Especially starting with the observation of the Muslim world, which is something I had no idea of before I really came to Malaysia and I started to meet people like Rejina. But now it's more and more conversation I can hear across town where Muslim women are aware of the legal situation about themselves in case of the sudden disappearance of a spouse or a divorce, and the law is not necessarily easy for them. So Rejina, her solution is trying to anticipate any potential accident in life for those women, but I feel like it could happen to anyone else outside of the Muslim world. So actually, I wouldn't say it's really a Muslim solution,
it's
right?
not actually Muslim focused at all. It's just so happened that, obviously I'm a Malay Muslim. So I wanted a solution that was easy for me to access if anything happened to me. Because when I started it, on the basis that when my sister passed away, I had the issue of trying to organize her documents.
I understand.
So everything was, you in typical human form, you tend to have documents all over the place. No one likes getting organized,
True.
Right?
True.
We know we've got to do it, but we don't do it. So at that time, I thought, wouldn't it be great if I had a digitized version of everything so that then I could just basically download one piece of paper, give it to the lawyer, and get everything sorted out. And that's basically why we developed W Vault in order to do that. And it was always the Muslim women that had issues, right?
Yes, yes.
Because, of course, we've got the Fara'id laws, which basically tells you that you can't just will away 100% of your assets.
Mm-hmm.
It's only up to 30%.
Yes.
And a lot of women are also very concerned because, let's say, if they don't have brothers or sons, they only have daughters, where does it go to, right?
True.
So these are the things that it's practical issues that a lot of people are facing, but you know, no one likes to get organized until something bad happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is too late.
Yes.
So that online vault actually is now a few years in,
Yes.
has received a lot of attention. And lately, and it's not so common, I feel, but lately you've been awarded a UN award as well
Yes.
for innovative finance, right?
Yeah.
Empowerment of women. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
So we've not actually done financing as such. So, but what we've done is that because no one likes to get organized, we started doing other things. So we started doing training, for
Hmm.
instance, workshops and all that, to get women to start thinking about, how do we do this? Because a lot of people go, why do I need to get organized? So the why is still a question mark,
True.
right? So people think like, okay, if I die, it's not a problem, right? Because then I die. There's some thinking that way as well. So which
Mm.
is why we wanted to say, okay, if you are always interested in retiring early, being financially free or financially independent, what does that mean exactly? Because for a lot of people, they just say that out. It's like people saying, I want to lose weight. What does that mean? They don't have a specific goal. They don't have a timeline. So in the end, it's just like, okay, I want to lose weight. And they always say, oh, I can never lose weight, right? Because there's no infrastructure there. So
True.
that's what I'm trying to do is basically have an infrastructure. So we've got training, we've got online videos. We also develop a financial card game for children so that just to get conversations of money going in families. Because what we also find is that because we're Asian, we tend to not talk about money.
Hmm. True.
Mm. So I'm not sure how it is in Europe, but definitely in Asia, it's such a taboo subject. You just
Mm.
don't talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's no real rule, I think, in Europe. It depends. It's down to the people, but it's less present a culture to not speak about money compared to here, for sure.
Mm.
So here, yeah, a lot of topics that feels natural. You might not be able to really talk openly about it, and money is one
Mm-hmm.
of them, indeed.
Yeah, definitely,
So
because it's very crass, People
yes,
say it's very
yeah,
crass. If you talk about debt or money,
yes,
it's such a bad thing, right?
yes.
So a lot of women in particular will find that their psychology of money tends to be coming from what their parents taught them.
Mm,
So they will either see it's either, they have an abundant view of it or a scarce view of it, right?
understand.
And it's also sometimes they're very scared about money because of the fact that people say like, oh, you've got to save it for a rainy day. You never know what's going to happen. And that's a very Asian culture as well.
Hmm.
So because of that, they'll put it in very liquid investments.
Yes.
So they don't invest. And then they wonder, why is the money not growing? So those are issues as well. Like, they forget about the inflation part of it and they rely entirely on the APF money. Yeah.
Mm. Understand. So I think it's a very interesting, actually, space of finance at large, while it's not really finance per se, as you were mentioning. And indeed, now I'm 3 or something years into startups, really working 24/7 with them. I can tell there are more and more players in that big space of organizing yourself money wise in case something happens to you. Women, especially. And it's very interesting, in my opinion. I'd never thought about it, but even for myself, it started to, uh, be in my mind like, hey, am I organized, in case? So,
Yeah.
very interesting conversation. So, nice introduction. We will see more about Wahine later in the interview. But let's start with the first part. And my first question to you is, do you have any idea about what the Proust questionnaire might be?
The what?
Yes, that's normal reaction.
Sorry.
So the Proust questionnaire, Proust, Proust. In good French, it's pronounced Proust.
Okay.
So it's the name of a person, a philosopher, a French philosopher and writer, Marcel Proust, that used to live in the late 19th, early 20th century in France. And so back then, he was in the intellectual circles and the aristocratic circles. So back then in my country, those circles, they had a lot of time on their hands. And so somehow they were playing games at some point, and he unearthed an indoor game that is based on personal questions. And because he was the one to popularize this game, therefore, this game is called the Proust questionnaire. It's his legacy. As French people, we know it since childhood, I think.
Interesting.
Very interesting thing. So, in a way or another, we have taken some or the entire questions in the questionnaire somehow somewhere in our life. But when it comes to Asia, of course, it's not necessarily something that is another topic
Mm-hmm.
that you're really open
Mm-hmm.
about it. So that's the thing we're going to do today.
Okay.
Clash of cultures, clash of centuries. And I'm bringing that 150 years old about that questionnaire to the most forward thinking people here, which are startup founders, right?
Okay.
So you ready to take it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, first question of the questionnaire is, what is your idea of perfect happiness?
Ooh.
Mhm.
Okay. That's a very
That
loaded
one is
question.
the hard
Yeah.
one to start with.
I think when it comes to happiness for me personally, it means a situation where my heart is very full. So, which means that my children are very close by, right? So, it's usually when, I get to see my children that, and my parents are around, and that's where, complete bliss will be.
Right.
So, a lot of family. Yeah.
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 Okay. That is nice. Now, what is your greatest fear?
I think my greatest fear is, I think the death of my parents.
Mm.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
that would be it. Because I know it's going to happen eventually.
Yes.
They're coming to their 80s now. Um, but because we're very close, I'm the only child because my sister passed away in
Mm-hmm.
2020. So yeah, that's going to be tough.
I
Yeah.
understand.
Mm.
And plus, I think even as adults, we don't really realize that one day it's going to be the reality, actually. I found on my end that is very, yes, we know it, but it's very complicated to visualize that day, to say, yeah,
Mm.
it will happen. So
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah,
ready
yeah.
because it's always a possibility. But hey, you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
what? Life is here
Yeah, yeah.
still.
How do you handle it, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? So I
Yeah.
think it's just until the D Day that we're just believing that they are eternal
Yeah.
and we live with that.
Yes,
This kind of
exactly.
numbing of the
Yes.
mind, right? Yeah.
Correct.
All right. Now, what is the trait you most deplore in yourself? Which means, what is the personality trait you wish you would not have?
Not have.
Uh-huh. Something you are not so happy about being part of yourself.
Oh, I'm quite impatient.
Okay.
I think that would be it. Yeah,
Okay.
that
Which
would
can be
be.
good, I guess, in startup world, especially.
Yeah, but you live in KL, right? There's so many things that just can irk you,
True.
traffic jams or
True.
whatever. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's one of the things I'm trying to work on.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Impatience. And so, what is the trait you most deplore in others?
In adverse, as in the opposite.
So, if it's not for you, your personality trait, what don't you really like others to be in terms of personality trait?
Oh, I think not, people who are
Hmm.
narcissistic. Yeah, I think that's something that I really find it very difficult to comprehend. Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand. Okay.
Mm.
Now, which living person do you most admire? Can be someone famous, can be someone close to you that we don't know about.
Oh, I think the owner of Coffee Investment Bank.
Hmm.
So I'm on the board for Coffee Investment Bank.
Okay.
So she owns Coffee Investment Bank, Datuk Khatijah Ahmad. So amazing lady. She's in her mid 80s. She goes to work still every day.
Wow.
She knows the market like the back of her hand. In fact, I think a lot of people don't even know the market as well as she does, even at this age. Um, but she's had a very interesting, I mean, apart from having built the bank single-handedly over 50 years, and it's doing really well, and the fact that you still have, she was part of the Brandt Commission back in the 70s,
Hmm.
and there were only two women on that commission because you had you had prime ministers and stuff like that, and I think and I think there was only her and the editor of Washington Post at the time.
Okay.
So if you think about it,
An
all those things,
achievement.
wow, you know, there was a
True.
Malaysian woman at
True.
that, and no one talks about it, right?
Yes.
So I think, there's a lot of things that there's so many amazing people in Malaysia that
True.
you don't know about until you get to know them.
True.
Yeah.
True. And you're lucky enough to be knowing her pretty close, actually.
Well, I wouldn't say pretty close, but I sit on the board for her company, right? And I think, and the ability to learn the fact that how is it that she's still motivated at, her mid 80s for her to still say that I want to drive the business, right?
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that must be
that's because
inspirational.
if you think about it, as a startup founder, sometimes you wake up going, "What am I doing?"
True. True. Yeah.
And this is only my third year of having
Hmm.
launched a product, so I'm thinking, do I have that same passion to be able to do this? If 50 years on.
True. True. Yeah, yeah. That's very true, actually.
Yeah.
It's a lot of drive here.
Yes.
Very often, I'm drawing analogies between entrepreneurs and artists. And yesterday night, I think I heard an artist that is a French artist. No one knows here about, but he's been in the business for pretty much his whole life. He must be around 60 something. He started at 17, I think. And he was saying that the first 20 years were the hardest. And already I was like, wow, 20 years.
Yeah.
And then it goes easier. Okay, so you have to reach that 20 years.
Yeah.
Not everyone is fitted for it.
Exactly.
Ended.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, is a natural selection here,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Your
80
mindset's
years
quite
old. Oh my
different, right?
God.
Yeah.
Yes, right? Okay. Now, what is your greatest extravagance? So something we might not know about you. Obviously, the public doesn't know, but even maybe your close people that is peculiar about you.
I think it would be in regards to if whenever I have extra money, it's always paintings.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I like my paintings. I like to support the local artists as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've run out of walls. So
Are
my
you like
husband,
rotating maybe your
so I'm
arts?
trying to move things around. I put some in the office and all that, but my husband's always going like, they don't have any more space.
Let's move out.
Yeah, so, but yeah.
Nice. So, which kind of art are you into?
Asian,
Okay.
so Malaysian artists mainly.
Contemporary.
Yeah, I've been collecting quite a fair bit of basically batik related
Oh, yeah.
as well.
Hmm.
So batik related.
Nice.
So Kuan Yin, Ismail, Mat Hussein, that sort of
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
That is nice. Okay. So maybe
Mm.
one day you have your collection exhibited or something.
No, it's all
No, just
personal.
for you. Huh?
Yeah, it's very personal. So yeah, so it's just a matter of like, so my kids always say, "Oh my God, another painting." Or sometimes my daughter, she lives in New Zealand, so she's quite cheeky. So she took back some.
Ah, oh, that
Yeah,
is good.
yeah.
Then she has, you have passed
A
on
bit
to
of
her a little
Malaysia
bit,
there
yeah?
as well. Yes.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
cool. Nice kind of legacy.
Yes,
Yeah?
that's
Oh,
right.
that is great. All right. Now, what is your current state of mind in general in this period of time?
I think, okay, wow. I think so. I'm going for my Hajj,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, inshallah, in May.
Okay.
Hopefully, this Middle East conflict doesn't
Yes, yes.
escalate. So I think in that sense, it's a lot of my current state of mind is very much very inward, trying to be more spiritual, right? So I
Understand.
think that's where, so hence the trying to tame that impatience.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes. It's the
yes,
right
yes,
moment to do that.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
So yeah,
Okay. That is nice. Okay. So we are crossing our fingers for that
yes, we all.
journey and trip to happen,
Mm.
right? Now, what do you consider the most overrated virtue? So, a virtue, some values we could say, or personality trait that you feel everyone is talking about, but you somehow disagree. It is so important.
Confidence, I guess.
Confidence.
Yeah, because I mean, it's important to be confident, but sometimes it can also, if you don't balance it properly, it just will then tends to be an ego, right?
True.
Yeah.
True.
Then when you start being egoistic, then it's a different ball game.
Mm.
Mm.
It could be also blinding you, right?
Correct, yeah. And I think that's also what was really interesting about the entrepreneurship journey because it's, I guess in a way I became quite successful in my corporate career very early on.
Mm-hmm.
I was MD at the age of 34,
Okay.
right? And the only female MD at that.
Mm.
So I guess in a way it made my head quite big, thinking, oh, I can do anything, right? Which is good because then I had the ability to think, okay, I can do this. But having moved into the entrepreneurship journey, I realized that it's been very humbling. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, entrepreneurship, it's breaking you or not.
yes,
But I guess if you had the confidence in yourself, at least at the beginning, it certainly helped you to face a lot of challenges. So, in a way, once you have put the ego on the
mm,
side,
mm,
which might happen at some point in time,
mm,
indeed, like you were saying,
mm.
very likely it's a good skill somehow to
Yeah,
have.
I think generally it's
Yeah.
good, but I think also if you look at a lot of young people, they're trying to be confident, right? And sometimes that could also not work in their favor because they're so scared about not being confident
Mm. True.
that it messes them up, right? As
True.
well. Yeah.
True. Especially in this exposed society that they're living in.
Mm, yeah,
Where they have to somehow build themselves into that kind of environment.
exactly.
When our generation had more time to build ourselves outside of this kind of pressure
Yeah,
before the pressure came in,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Mm.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, confidence then. Now, on what occasion do you lie? Lie, Lie. My accent sometimes says misleading. So cheating.
Okay, I usually lie. It's the white lies, right? So
Mhm.
basically,
Yeah, I
especially
don't want you to tell
yeah,
me any big lie you might have in your life.
it's white lies when it comes to like my mother, especially, to make her happy. Yes, yes, yes. I'm doing this. Yes, working on it.
Understand, understand.
You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then you
Mhm.
avoid conflict
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
hard discussion
Exactly,
you don't
right?
want
It's
to
like,
have.
okay, don't worry about it. Yes, I've got it. I've sorted it out,
True.
really.
You know, it's a skill I wish I could have
Then,
because
of course,
the
you start doing it immediately after
yeah,
that, right?
right. You're obliged to catch up with what you have said.
Mm,
Okay, so it's somehow a booster your white
mm,
lie.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. All right. Now, what do you most dislike about your appearance, if anything? Because some people they are comfortable with themselves, which is great.
Um, I'm pretty comfortable, I think. I mean, obviously, I'm now in my fifth decade, right?
Hmm.
So I'm quite comfortable with my
Okay.
own body
Yeah.
right now. Yeah, yeah. Wouldn't change anything, actually.
Okay.
Quite happy.
That
Yes.
is good. That is a
Yes.
good place to be in, I
Yeah,
must
yeah,
say.
yeah.
All right. Now, okay, this question is a weird one, but I will tell you why. It's coming directly from the 19th century for sure. Which living person do you most despise? So, of course, in our society, I mean, usually we don't despise, especially on camera.
Yeah, yeah.
But back then, I think that was in pirate circles quite admitted. So for me, the question would more be about which kind of person do you really not like to be surrounded by?
Okay, I think it'll have to be politicians.
Mm,
Mm,
okay.
yeah, without naming names, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, prefer not, especially in Malaysia. Prefer not.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, in that sense, in the category of the fact that you can't rely on them.
Mm,
Mm,
understand. Yeah.
mm.
All right. Now, what is the quality you most like in a man, as in gender man?
Uh, I think empathy,
Uh-huh.
and that goes for both men and women, actually.
Then you're
Because I
jumping
think,
into my next question.
yeah.
So please elaborate.
So the reason for that is that because whether it's a man or woman, I think it's very important for people to have that ability to listen, to figure out that it's not just about them, that there's other people in the room that, you've got to listen. And sometimes you learn a lot more about a person when you listen, right?
Mm,
Yeah. So, yeah, so I think a lot of people just tend to be so about them, right? Everything is it's me, me, me,
yes,
right? Yeah, especially in this social media thing, it's like
that's
it's me.
true.
Mm,
That's true.
yeah.
Empathy it is, yes. Now, which words or phrases do you most overuse if you are aware of it?
Oh, I actually had this conversation with my son the
Ah,
other day.
okay.
Because he just moved back after studying overseas, couldn't get a job overseas, so he's back, and he goes, "Do you realize that you actually say basically a lot. And I'm
Oh.
like, really? Yeah, whenever you want to explain anything, it's basically.
But the kids actually, they're really good at picking that up.
Yeah, I'm like, really? Yeah. He goes, try and record yourself for the day.
Mm.
You'll see how many times you actually say, basically, mum.
Interesting. Me, I can say I know it through my kid as well. My son, one of them, little one, he's 8, and because he's mimicking me, which I appreciate too late actually. And so when he starts to speak, he uses my words. So, for instance, basically, I say something pretty close to that in French, which is close to literally.
Mm.
So when an 8-year-old is starting to put literally in his sentences, I'm like, where did you get that? And now I'm like, oh, it's me saying that. So now I have to be double careful about what I'm saying because I don't know, naturally they just like take it for themselves or picking it up. Interesting, huh? Sons then it is to have the check on us, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what or who is the greatest love of your life?
Ooh, I think it'll be my children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense, yeah, as a
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah. Both my daughter and my son. Yeah.
Oh, you have 3 kids as well.
I have 2 kids.
2 kids. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Both. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
One boy, one girl. Yeah.
Sorry.
Mm.
It's 10 in the morning. So
Yeah.
my mind is not so
Yeah.
clear, obviously. Okay. Of course. How old are they now?
Oh,
Studying abroad,
wow.
you said.
Very old. 28 and 24 this year. Mm.
Wow.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
Oh, that is cool. All right. Now, when and where were you the happiest?
Uh, I'm generally quite a happy person. So I would say that the happiest of late was obviously when I had earlier this year, I spent some time with both the kids
Hmm.
in New Zealand. Yeah,
Yeah.
just the two of them. Yes, that's
Nice.
just
So the
nice.
two of them were studying there
So my
at
daughter
that time.
works there. My son was working there as well, but it
Okay.
wasn't such a great job, so that's why he's come back.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
New Zealand is pretty nice indeed.
Yeah.
All right. Which talent would you most like to have?
Ooh, a lot of talents I would like to learn. I think if I could, and I think this is something that I can actually achieve, is actually be multilingual.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have a good background, I would say, as a
That's
Malaysian to become that,
yeah.
right?
Technically,
Much
I
more
should have.
achievable than French
Yes,
people, for instance.
exactly. Technically, yes. So I think that ability to speak a few languages would be nice. Mm.
So you speak naturally English,
And
Bahasa.
Malay. That's it.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah. So I understand a few words here and there, but be nice. Yeah. I think that's next on the list. Yeah.
Mm. I'm pretty impressed every time because a lot of Malaysians have dialects as well, Mandarin or Cantonese, all this and that.
Yeah, yeah.
And the
Especially
list starts very easy actually to be
yeah.
long.
And I wish I had that. I wish my parents had that mindset earlier on, because then it would have been a lot easier. So my children speak a few languages,
Okay.
right? So that, I mean, it's great traveling with them,
Yes,
because
yes.
it's like no worries, right? It's like
Yeah.
pas problème, right?
And also, I think it's also great. Says the girl that still doesn't work on Bahasa or Mandarin, but it's a great way to adjust to a culture as well, to
Correct.
understand
Yeah,
better.
yeah, yeah. And people, because you've made the effort, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Whereas,
And
yeah.
somehow you like my kids 5 years here in Malaysia, they have been learning Mandarin and Bahasa. And Mandarin especially is like for me like an entire new word of
Because you can't read it, right?
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, so
And
that's the
I
thing.
remember when they were 3 or 4, something like this, they had a homework and they were lost. So, as a mother, you try to help. But how can you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm pretty good at languages, but this one is
This is
like out
something
of my
else. Yeah,
ground,
yeah,
yeah? And so I went online, blah, blah, blah. And just the thinking of how the sentences are constructed, the alphabet that is not really an alphabet,
yeah.
says a lot about how I think Chinese people must think about life compared to how we think.
Mm,
So even if you don't master it, which I believe will take forever,
mm,
at least you start to have a hint on how do those people think about life and things in general, how the concepts make
mm.
sense in their heads compared
Yeah,
to
yeah,
mine.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
interesting.
And the nuances, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Very
yeah,
interesting. Yeah, it's a talent I wish I have as
yeah,
well, especially here because the first question usually Malaysians would ask me is, so apart French and English, what else are you speaking?
yeah.
And I'm like, I used to speak German, but it's so rusty now.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, and what else? And that's it. I feel
But you're
failing.
European, you could be
Yeah,
worse. You could be American or
true,
English, at which
true.
point it's
That
just
would be
English.
even
Mm.
harder to answer that question, I guess. Yes, indeed. All right. Now, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
Ooh, I think that would definitely be a flatter stomach.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, that you're getting older.
Yeah.
So the same sort of exercise is not having the same impact. So yeah, a
I can
flatter stomach.
discover and
Yeah.
relate now. Pre 50,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
change. Yes.
Totally.
Yes. We're not equal in front of nature, I tell you. Men and women. Why is it so hard on us the whole life, right? I'm just wondering.
I
Everything is back
let
onto us,
let's
right?
not go in there.
There's no sharing between men and women on the burden of physical,
Mm,
challenges. Oh, man. All right. Now, what do you consider your greatest achievement?
my children.
Hmm.
Yeah. At the end of the day, whether it's a career or whatever, I think the fact that they're in their 20s. I mean, uh, a lot of things can go wrong still, but at the end of the day, I think the fact that 28 this year and 24 this year, the fact that they've basically secured good jobs, they're financially independent from
Hmm.
me, which is nice.
Yes,
Um,
I imagine because mine are 8, 9, and 13. So
so
still long
so
journey.
back, so I'm getting back my return on investment type thing, right?
Hmm.
So the fact that the fact that when I have friends and people just out there saying, hey, I really enjoy spending time with your kids
Mm,
individually
yes,
without you. So, which means that I must have raised some decent human
yes,
beings, right? Yeah.
yes, yes. That's my. I hope one day I can say the same about my
Mm,
kids because my anxiety, let's say, like lying anxiety, is around that. Like, am I doing the right thing so that
correct,
one
right?
day
Yeah.
they are
How
okay in
do,
life and they
yeah,
can
how do
handle
they
life?
choose? I think, if as when they were teenagers, it was, I was very concerned about drugs and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
even in their early 20s, right? I'm like,
Mm,
so very honest conversations
true.
about things like that, certain friends that they have and all that, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Mm.
I think, the concern for quite some
Mothers
part of the light. Yeah, yeah.
until the end of times, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but at least at some point, I believe you might get a sense of it'll be okay. Anything can
Mm.
happen, but mostly it should be
Yeah,
okay.
I think mental resilience,
Yes,
in this
yes,
age of social media, that's what I'm very concerned about. It's in terms
it's
of
true.
mental resilience. How do you teach a kid mental resilience?
Mm,
Yeah.
that is true, especially when we haven't been evolving in the same environment at all.
Mm.
So even if now as adults we are, but
Yeah.
I think we have this luck to have seen the before and the after,
Yeah.
and we can transfer the before as skills into this
Yeah.
new environment.
Yep.
But I don't know how you grow up
Yeah.
directly
Correct,
exposed
correct.
into that
Exactly. Yeah.
environment. Indeed. Yeah, it's hard to be parent no matter what.
Yes.
But
Scary.
great that your kids have
Mm.
achieved a good place in life. That's
Thank you.
indeed saying a lot about you, I guess.
Thank you.
So now, question is, if you were to die and come back as a person or a thing, what would it be?
Oh, I'd love to be a bird,
Okay,
an eagle.
okay.
Yeah.
For which reason?
One is just the ability to just have that overview, right? Rather than, because sometimes I think, as humans, we tend to just be cluttered with life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that a bird's life is a lot easier,
Sure.
but the fact that you're a bit more in tune with nature, your ability to migrate from one place to another because, weather dictates, right?
True.
Yeah.
True.
And of course, flying,
Flying,
right?
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That is something.
Mm.
True. Okay. Now, where would you most like to live? Can be a specific place or a type of environment.
Oh, I like Malaysia actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, obviously I'm Malaysian. I studied overseas for a while, but I've always liked the fact that, Malaysia. My kids are based in New Zealand, but I would still like to be here. Ideal situation would be to actually have a really cool, old-fashioned traditional house
Okay.
somewhere by
Mm-hmm.
a river. That would be my dream.
Oh, okay.
Mm. but having all the modern amenities. Yeah, so that'd be quite cool.
Good
Yeah.
compromise,
Mm.
right? So it's very specific, I think, to Malaysia. Every single one guest I had, being Malaysian, has said Malaysia. Not
Yeah.
one who would have thought, oh, I would love to be, I don't know, in another country or
I like the
interesting.
idea of, I mean, and that's what I'm doing now. Basically, I have the freedom to go to New Zealand to see my kids
Sure.
and stuff like that, but I it's home. Yeah.
Ultimately, yeah, this is where you feel
Hmm.
home. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. It's a great country, so why not?
Thank you.
Now, what is your most treasured possession? And it could be tangible or intangible.
Definitely my possession. Yeah, I think definitely it's not no material things. It would definitely be my my faith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Now, what do you regard as your lowest depth of misery? So the deep, deep down where there's pretty much no hope anymore.
I've been very lucky. I've never experienced that. Yeah. So in that sense, even when I lost my sister, it was because she's been ill for many, many years. So it was just a matter of the fact that we were quite relieved that the pain had gone. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say that would have been hard, but not to the depth of
I
despair.
understand.
But yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay. Wishing that it never happens to
Yeah.
you either. Now, a bit lighter. What is your favorite occupation?
If I could choose,
Yes.
ooh, um, I think, yeah, I would be in my dream life. I would be a writer.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Wow. So, fiction writer?
So yeah, fiction writer was the dream life. So I'm trying to get there. So which is why I write a column in Star Bit 7
Oh,
every
nice.
month
Okay.
about women and money,
Okay. Very nice.
and I'm hoping to get a book out this year as well.
Wow.
Mm.
That is cool. I must say I can relate a little bit because I'm a contributor to a business magazine in the US. So it's still economic driven.
Yeah.
But the fact to put your expertise into the writing, already the exercise of writing, I love it. It's not fiction here.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
can
it's not
imagine if you
fiction.
transfer into fiction,
Yeah.
that's an extra mile.
Yes.
But already just sensing this
Yes,
little
yes.
mile here, I'm like,
Yeah.
when I'm in this bubble to write, it's a bubble,
Yes.
really. And I
I
like it actually.
it's really nice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're pushing yourself. Every word is counting, even in a business
Yeah, yeah.
article. Every word is counting and
Correct.
it's obliging you to be at the best you can and think properly about each
And really
word.
thinking about it, right? Thinking about
Exactly.
just and I guess for me for the column as well, it's a matter of thinking like, okay, what else can I write about? Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I can read. So maybe a book someday.
Yeah.
That is nice. Okay. Now, what is your most marked characteristic? If someone had to describe you, they would say, oh, Regina, she is like this or that.
I've been told that I don't have a poker face.
Okay.
So people say that you can rely on Regina in terms of how honest she is when anything happens,
Okay.
whether I like it or not. It'll just be on my face. It's,
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to be a politician.
Understand that. It takes an entire different personality indeed. All right. Now, what you most value in your friends?
Mm, I guess honesty and reliability.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of writing, who are your favorite writers?
Ooh, I have so many.
So if you had to
Um,
pick maybe the most two
I think
favorite.
Elif Shafak,
Okay.
she's Turkish, Turkish American. Because I identify myself as quite a bit of a feminist,
Okay.
so I like the fact that she writes from a feminist point of view, and she's also Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of Islamic references and stuff like that. So I like her. Um, I'm actually quite open to a lot of others in terms of fiction. Um, I read everything from business books to non to girly stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Avid reader.
So yeah. So my daughter and I usually try and we sort of say, how many books have you done? So she's like, I've done 10 already now. How many have you done? And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's March. I've only done 4, right? Yeah,
It's good. It's a
yeah,
good
yeah, yeah,
challenge.
yeah. It's a good
I must
challenge.
say, I used to love to read every night, but now with the Netflix and all, it has changed the game entirely.
Yeah,
And
Netflix can be quite
yeah,
bad for
it's
you.
very bad
Yeah,
actually. I
yeah,
need to change that because I don't like to not read anymore like I
yeah,
used to do, like a
yeah.
lot of books. And still, I'm piling up lots of books by my bedside.
Okay,
Every,
you
you
should
know,
come to my house then. We can sort of share
yeah,
some books.
right.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
love
yeah.
one of my preferred places on earth is libraries. I
Me
love
too.
libraries
Me too.
to the point I can stay hours there, just like wandering around and looking for books, and
That's
especially because they
exactly
don't
what
belong
my
to me.
mom did to me when I was a kid, because in order to, because she was a working, so as a kid, most of the time, whenever she had errands to do over the weekends and stuff, I would spend like the entire weekend in a library
Yeah, right.
and read everything. Yeah.
But here I'm missing that there aren't a lot of libraries, right? Public
They're
libraries in
not,
KL,
yeah,
right?
unfortunately,
Okay.
this is something, but apparently there are more book clubs coming up.
Oh, that is
Mm.
nice. That
And
is nice.
there's a book club apparently that you do in the park. So you read in the park and
Oh,
yeah.
oh, that is cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Oh, that is
haven't
like
tried
a
that?
movie, like a book
Yeah,
club.
yeah, I haven't tried that because I'm like, oh, in the park, it's so hot.
True. Depends on what time it is. Maybe
Yeah,
early
yeah,
morning could
yeah,
do.
yeah. So,
Indeed.
but yeah, I think,
Oh,
I would say that I'm an avid reader, but gosh, there's so many books out there, right?
right. Too many
Yeah,
actually. Too
yeah,
many, and especially if you have a favorite genre, then you tend to usually go back to it, and so somehow you close your mind to things you are less favoriting usually, which is my
yeah,
case. So
yeah,
sometimes I'm trying to open my mind to something else, but always
yeah.
coming
I
back to
like
that
my
genre.
Indian writers as well.
Mm,
Have you read Arundhati Roy?
no.
Oh, you got to
Should.
read her
Okay.
and her latest memoir. Uh, that is fascinating,
Okay.
absolutely fascinating. Arundhati
I
Roy.
will search on
Yeah,
her.
she's fantastic. I mean, you only read people's work of fiction, but when you start knowing who the author is, it's also quite amazing, right? It's
Mm,
like, oh my
true.
god, how do you even come up with all this, right?
Mm,
The
that explain
genius
a bit
behind,
the
yeah,
writing you mean. Yes,
yeah,
yes,
but
yes.
also the
Correct.
person. And I was like, oh wow,
Correct.
so many facets.
Okay.
Mm.
So I will search for her. Thank you. So now, who is your hero of fiction? So it can be literature, movies, anything fiction.
Ooh, a fictional character.
Hmm.
I think, okay, so because I would read anything and everything as a kid, I read a lot of Jeffrey Archer as well, apart
Okay.
from Enid Blyton and
Yep.
stuff like that, whatever I could get my hands on. So, um, The Prodigal Daughter was one book, and I can't remember the name of the character now, but because just the fact that she was such a powerful character,
Hmm.
that sort of is basically emblazoned in my mind, thinking, yeah, you need to be able to be strong, and with knowledge comes power
Hmm.
and that sort of thing.
So
Yes,
the
yeah,
roots of who you are today, like were saying, I'm considering
yeah,
myself as a feminist. Somehow I started pretty
perhaps
early.
that, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was always
Interesting.
getting into trouble with my parents, so probably that's why I've labeled myself the prodigal daughter as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I understand that. Yes. Yes, mom, you said. So, yeah, I understand. Okay. Now, which historical figure do you most identify with? It might be a bit complicated to identify ourselves with a historical figure, but at least get inspired by, I would say.
I think, yeah, inspiring would be a lot easier, but I guess it will have to be. I think I would historical, but it's also a religious figure. It
Hmm.
would be Khadija,
Okay.
which is
Yep.
basically Prophet Muhammad's
Hmm.
wife. Because to think about it, 7th century Arabia, she was a successful businesswoman, and she actually asked the Prophet for his hand in marriage. So
Mm.
to actually be bold enough to
Yes.
say, like, and she was 40, he was 25. I mean,
Oh,
we
I
talk
didn't know the
about
story.
cougar and stuff like that. I mean, the fact that, hey, and I'm just thinking, like, wow, imagine, I can't even, imagine, you're in a society where women didn't speak, women were cattle, basically, right?
Mm-mm-mm.
And for her to be a successful businesswoman, to employ the prophet and then ask him for his hand in marriage. Imagine, yeah. So I think that is just amazing.
Yeah, it's very outstanding, I must
Yeah,
say. I can see you are really drawn by um,
powerful women.
female, yeah,
Mhm.
female figures, right?
Yes, completely. So my art is also similar.
I would imagine.
A lot of female figures.
Right. You're coherent here. All right. Now, what are your favorite names?
Favorite names. Oh, I like my name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Regina.
I
Very,
like
very
my name
beautiful
because it's a
indeed.
bit different. I like, of course, I like my children's names. Marissa,
Hmm.
Gabriel.
Oh,
Mm.
it's not
Uh,
so common, Gabriel, here.
no, Gabriel Omar, but that because both my kids were also born during the World Cup years, right? So it was
Ah,
Gabriel Omar Batistuta.
okay, okay. That is nice reference.
Could have been different.
Hmm.
But yeah, so yeah, yeah,
Understand.
yeah.
Nice. Okay. I forgot one question before that, which was who are your heroes in real life?
I think it would have to be my parents. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, my
Yeah.
dad and my mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it that you most dislike in general?
Uh, Definitely. I think I said this before. Narcissistic people.
Hmm.
I also don't like it when people are very loud. Yeah, I don't like loud people.
I
Yeah.
must say you have a very calming voice.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I was thinking, hey, how can I achieve that? It's so like poised and calm, and you how we say it in English, the way you speak is still powerful, you know.
Oh,
So I was
thank
like,
you.
wow, it's nice actually to have
Thank
such
you.
a voice, you know.
Yeah. No,
So yeah,
yeah, I
no,
don't like, I guess I don't like loud people.
understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what is your greatest regret, if you have any?
Definitely my greatest regret would be the fact that I didn't keep up with my piano lessons, right? I
Mm,
should have done that. But I keep telling myself, hey, it's not too late.
true.
So there's always time. And also the fact that I wasn't, I didn't think about doing languages when I was younger.
It's hard to imagine something like this for ourselves, I must say.
Mm,
I think it has to come
yeah,
from the parents somehow because we're not mature enough to understand at
yeah,
that point
yeah,
in time.
yeah,
You know, my husband, my kids were trying with my husband to push the Mandarin
yeah,
uh, because, well, that was such a luck here to be in Bahasa and Mandarin while being French, born in Australia. I mean, come on,
yeah.
who does that? Yeah.
Mm.
So now they're transferring from tailors to the French school. And so Mandarin they won't have anymore.
Well, you should try
So
and keep it on the
we
side.
will. So we
Yeah,
said to them, don't worry, we get it organized. We have
yeah,
your Twitter now.
yeah.
And they are like, oh, no, more classes. Yeah, but listen, when you're older, you
Yes,
will understand because my
yes,
parents didn't push either because that
yeah,
was not the generation really.
yeah,
And being French, you didn't think about languages. Back then, you wouldn't even
yeah.
think about moving out of your town or something.
Exactly, right?
We were, which was really exceptional already,
Mm.
but out of the country, really
Exactly.
not.
Yeah.
But you have, I think it has to come from the parents somehow.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, my son did Mandarin up to IB, and that's for him because he was so happy with Mandarin.
Mm,
It made him, in terms of picking up Japanese was easy.
exactly.
So he did Japanese in uni
Exactly.
as well.
Wow.
Mm,
It's crazy.
yeah.
Love it. I would love to be into that kind of languages, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. But it's never too
Mm,
late, so who
that's
knows?
right.
All right. Now, how would you like to die? That's a heavy question.
In my sleep or on the prayer mat.
Okay.
Mm,
Okay.
yeah,
Nice and beautiful.
yeah.
All right. Now, what is your motto in life?
Uh, whatever you do, basically, it's basically from that movie Gladiator.
Hmm.
Whatever you do echoes in eternity, right? So it always comes back. So you've got to be very careful in what you do.
Okay. It's very
So I
linked to
think,
religion as well. Sounds like this.
yeah, I
Mm?
wasn't looking at it from that perspective, but yeah. So because to me, there's always a consequence,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Nice. So we have gone through the personal questions, 35 questions from the first questionnaire. How would you feel?
good.
You okay?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah.
No trauma?
No, 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 no,
Okay, very
whatever.
nice. That was really nice to discover that side
Yeah,
of you,
thank you.
because usually in networking, we just know the surface level
Yes,
of
of course.
people and we
Yes.
sense or
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
But
yeah.
now I hope we have, for our audience here, a little bit more understanding of who you are and why you have done the business you have
Mm,
launched,
yeah.
which is now leading us to speaking about your business. And so I will ask you something that you must have done countless times now in 3 years. Can you do us a 1 minute elevator pitch about Wahine?
Oh,
I
damn.
won't clock
Okay.
it.
Um, yeah, I think basically Wahine Capital, and what we have under Life of W, basically now that we've pivoted, is a platform to provide women, especially, to provide them the tools and knowledge to basically empower them financially. So it's not about financial independence as such, but empowerment. The reason for that is very simple because how do you get empowered? It's basically through knowledge, right?
Mhm.
And in order to do that, it's basically through self awareness. So most people are not aware of where they are. So most people would, like I had mentioned earlier, to talk about financial freedom, what does that mean? I usually, in my training, we provide a retirement calculator, and I'm like, put in your numbers. How much do you think you need per month? How long do you think you're going to be retiring for how long? And how long do you think you'll be living? And then plus, and I recommend 4% inflation rates, right? That usually gives them a very big number.
Mm.
Yeah. So for instance, I am now 53. So I want to retire at 65, let's say, right? So I am saying I need 5,000 ringgit a month. But because of inflation, by the time I reach 65, that's going to be 8,000 ringgit
Yeah.
a month,
Yeah.
right? So that's why it's very important if you ever listen to any of the things, my interviews and stuff like that, I'm always asking, what's your number, right? And I think it's very important for people to understand what's your number. Because if you don't, how then do you plan?
True.
Um, People will say, no need to plan lah. We've got EPF, what, right? But studies also shows and statistics also shows that most Malaysians, up to I think close to 90%, don't have the required 1.3 million that you need to retire comfortably, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one. And then the fact is also 1.3 million is basically the enhanced savings, which basically translate if you look at the 4% drawdown rule. So let's say you have 1.3 million, you're supposed to only draw down 4% each year to make it last for
Yeah.
20, 25
Yeah.
years. So assuming you're living for 25 years, whatever, it's basically about 4,000 plus a month.
True.
That's not much.
True.
Mm. So which is why it goes back to what's your number?
Mm.
Can you survive on it? Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So now let's go more deep into your organization, but my way, brain strategist. So the first question is, why are you on Earth for as an organization? So Wahine.
Yeah, so our reason to existing is going back to just helping women. Yeah, because the fact is, so if you look at the Global Gender Gap Report by WEF, year on year, Malaysia does really quite badly, right? So we, in the latest report 2025, we came 108th,
Mm.
and we were bottom in ASEAN.
Okay.
So it's not just a matter about education attainment. We lack our political representation as well. So ours is what, 13, 18%, very, very low. Economic participation is also very low. So at the end of the day, how are we going to make Malaysia a better nation, a better economy, if the women are left behind, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, so I think that's very important. So people say, oh, but you look at management and all that, there's more women, right? So in the top PLCs in Malaysia, top 100 PLCs, we've exceeded the 30% threshold,
Okay. Which is good.
which is good. But at the end of the day, so for instance, in my industry before, in the investment management industry, most of the CEOs were women before. Now we were all replaced by men.
Okay.
So it's also pipeline issue, right? Because what you see is that for a lot of women, and especially nowadays, because I also do a lot of mentoring, a lot of younger women are saying, um, it's either or, it's my career or the family.
Mm.
They're not like my generation, at which point we said we could do it all.
Yep. Yep.
Let's do it all, right? So they're saying no. So I'm going to be very successful, and after a while, I'll quit so that I can focus on my
That's true. Now you're saying it.
yeah.
I've heard
So
that
I'm
around.
not sure why. So you get a lot of the younger women thinking that way. So which means that then the pipeline goes, right? Because you're not going to have enough senior
Yep.
people to get to the
Yep.
C-suites.
Yep.
At which point then, because if you don't have enough people in the C-suites, they're not going to get on the boards.
Yep.
And the boards are the ones who are basically providing that strategy and advice framework for you to be building public listed companies, right? As well as
True.
non-public listed
True.
companies. So if the decision makers are not women, then there's a lot of biases that we're going to have to contend with, right?
Mm.
So like design of cars and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's improving, right? But it's not catching up. And if you start talking about tech, there's a lot of things that are not catered to women, right? Imagine if there were more, scientists that were doing robotics that were women. I bet you the first thing that they would have come up with would be someone that would be doing the housework, right?
That's true.
Laundry.
Yeah. 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 True. True. True.
Affordable, somebody that can do the laundry at
Mm-hmm.
least
Mm-hmm.
and clean up. Yeah.
That's true that balance, no matter what, is necessary. Whether we see that from a man or a women point of view, I believe the beauty of human life is about genders trying to understand each other's and collaborate together to create something together that is favorable to both genders.
Mm,
And it's been the struggle for life, I think,
mm,
as long as we have all been on Earth.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So your ultimate goal is really the woman, helping
Yeah,
the woman
because
here.
over the years, mentoring and coaching, it's always the women who are going, they might be really successful career-wise, but their personal lives is in such a mess
Mm.
because no one's listening, no one's really giving them that extra time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Understand. Okay. So that might lead naturally to the second question, which is what people do you want to resonate with as an organization?
Definitely women who are wanting to help themselves, right? I
Mm.
think that's very important because because we can't help anyone that's not wanting to help themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think
Yes.
that's very important. And I find that the younger generation is more open to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how different are you from your competitors? If you have any direct or
Yeah,
indirect.
I think in the Malaysian space and even within ASEAN, and I mean we've gone to, I mean we've been to Luxembourg and stuff like that. I think the fact that we focus on women is very powerful. And a lot of people, I've met investors and all that who've always told me, why women? Why do you still keep insisting on women? I'm saying it's not exclusively for women. I want the women to talk to their husbands to also use this product because now we also have, for instance, a spending tracker that immediately populates your budget within W Vault to make it a
Mm.
lot easier for
Yep.
you. Um, but it's the women, right, that needs help. To me, it's the women. So I think that's where we're very different. And the fact that both myself and my co-founder, we're quite strong feminists in that sense, right?
Mm.
So we're very attuned to that.
Yep.
So I think that gender lens is very different. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do you promise to those people that you want to resonate with, those women that want to help themselves?
I think the feedback that we've been getting has always been like, oh, thank you very much because I wasn't aware of blah, 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 right?
Mm.
I didn't know blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I now have clarity.
Okay.
So, I think they've gone to financial advisors, they've gone to financial planners, and they're saying that again, they still don't get that clarity because I really go down to I I try and make it simple. Yeah, I think that's important for people to
Yeah.
break it down. What
Yeah.
does investing really mean and all
Mm-mm.
that? Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now we are coming to the last part of our interview, which is about your hot news as Wahine or as Regina. Do you have anything that you would like to share about us? Anything upcoming?
Not that it's upcoming. We've just released a financial card game
Okay.
called Money Moves. So it's for children. So I think that's a bit people are going, oh my God, why are you doing children? And why are you doing a physical card game? So a lot of the mothers that we were training were also saying, how do you teach children about money,
Mm,
right? So that's basically a response to that question. So it's a physical card game. It's for 4-year-olds to 10-year-olds
okay.
to teach them basic income, expenses, savings. It's a quick game, 20 minutes. You can play as a family. So it's just really to just create that awareness and conversations within the family unit in terms of money without
Okay.
making it sensitive, right?
Yes. And I think
So
you're hoping that then the kids being educated, the young boys especially, the conversations in the future for their
not
future
just
wife might
that,
be also more easy, I
but it's
guess.
also so we've done a few workshops and it was really interesting. So you had kids going like, oh, why do I have to pay for this? Usually mommy only uses a phone, and
Ah,
so
oh,
they
yes, yes,
so
yes.
they don't
Digital
connect the
natives.
fact that this is physical money.
Yes,
It's
correct.
money nonetheless, even if it's on the phone, it's still money, right?
Correct.
But because it's mommy's phone, always just you just beep it and nothing. It's not painful, right? So when they have to take out the money, the paper money, they're going like, why do I have to spend? I don't want
Mm,
to spend.
that is
Uh,
true. That is
so
true.
it's really great insights,
Interesting.
psychologically. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Very
Yeah.
interesting.
So it's now available on Shopee.
Okay.
Mm.
So we'll put all the links
Yes.
into the
Yes.
announcement of
Yes.
this podcast
Yes.
episode. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, Regina. We are now coming to the end of the interview. That was really great to have you over
Thank you
and
so much.
listen to who you are and
Thank
all
you.
the beautiful things that you are putting together for the sake of women and their financial independence. For now, maybe later you will expand to something else, I
You never
guess,
know.
with that
Yes.
why in
Yes.
mind.
Yes.
But at least the first thing to tame, I think, is
Yep.
financial independency.
Yes.
So thank you on behalf of women, I would say.
Thank you.
And yeah, great to have you over. Thank
Thank
you for your
you.
time.
Thank you.
So